There's something in the woods over here. Do you see it? It's kind of hiding in plain sight, and that's for good reason. Do you see it yet? How about now? Yep, that is a camo style e-bike, and we're gonna find out what this thing has to offer, so stay tuned. This is the Mokwheel Basalt ST, and if Indiana Jones, the famous archaeologist, was to ever have an e-bike, I think it would be this one right here, because this bike is intended for the trails and woods. And I'm gonna put it through a real world test to see how well it performs. Will it exceed my expectations, or will it fall short? There's only one way to find out though, but before we find out, let's see what the Mokwheel Basalt ST has to offer. And my main purpose of this video is to answer one simple question. Will this bike survive what I'm about to put it through? There's only one way to find out, so stick around. Is it me, or does this bike look like it fits right at home here in this environment? I think it does, perfectly with the camel color. So for starters, this is the Mokwheel Basalt ST. And like I said, it looks like an Indiana Jones inspired e-bike. If he was to make a movie today, having an e-bike, this might be the one he'd be using. So this does have some interesting things I've never come across before on an e-bike. But before we take it for a test ride, let's talk specs and features. Powering this bike is a removable 48 volt, 19.6 amp hour battery. It's stored here right in the frame on the bottom. It does come with a pair of keys, so you can unlock it, take it out, charge it wherever you want, or you could charge it while it's also on the bike. I'm not a huge fan of batteries mounted on the bottom side. Not only are they a little bit more difficult to remove, but they're also more prone to getting hit with rocks and other debris. But the reason it's there is because there are mounting holes and brackets here for a water bottle holder on the top side of the frame. That battery does power a rear hub 750 watt motor that does peak out at 1100 watts. This is also a class 2 bike. There's actually a sticker right here stating that, which means it will only go up to 20 miles an hour on throttle, but will go up to 28 miles an hour while pedaling. Those are your top speeds, and I can confirm it does indeed do those. The bike itself weighs in at 80 pounds, so not terribly heavy. It does feel solidly built, not overly built, not overly heavy. So 80 pounds falls under the threshold of most legalities as far as weight and motor power output. But this does have a payload capacity of 450 pounds, so it can handle a pretty large load, whether it be a heavy individual or carrying extra gear. Range is 60 to 80 miles on pedal assist. Now that is with a lightweight rider while pedaling on mostly flat terrain, but results will vary for each individual. Realistically, probably looking around 30 to 50 miles on the upper end. But this does have hydraulic disc brakes for stopping power, rides on large 26 by 4 inch wide fat tires, and it has something I've never come across before, and that is a cadence and torque sensor combined into one, which is supposed to work automatically while you're riding it. We'll find out how that operates during the test riding portion of the video. Now this bike does have another feature I've never come across before, and that's with the display. So come on over, let's check it out. Starting off on the left-hand side of the cockpit area, we do have unique grips. Has a little bubble here. If you could see, I could depress it. It's supposed to aid in comfort and also design. I will say it feels different than what I'm used to. Not bad, just different, but I guess over a long duration of riding, it will help your hands be a bit more comfortable. Next to that is your thumb throttle. So I'm happy to see that rather than a half or quarter twist throttle. We do have a 5-button control module here. So power button, left and right turn signals, plus and minus for your pedal assist. Long pressing minus is walking mode. Long pressing plus is turning on your headlight on and off. Here's your display. We'll come back to that. And over on the right hand side, which I mistaken for a thumb throttle, is actually an integrated bell right here into the handlebars and an 8-speed Shimano gear system. To power it on, we're just going to long press the power button here. Now there's a glare, but I will say overall it is pretty bright and vibrant. So up top is your power meter. Pedal assist 0 is no power and 5 is max power. Speed, it shows eco, which there's no way to change that as far as I'm aware of. Has a time counter there and trip of how long the bike's been ridden for. And when you do use your turn signals, you do get icons up there illuminating, showing you that they are indeed working, which one's on. So it's a visual confirmation showing you that you have it on and a reminder to turn it off. So pressing the button once turns it on, pressing again turns it off. Now the coolest feature that I found with this bike is the display. More than just what it shows you, it's what it can do. This display is actually removable. There's 2 tabs underneath here. If you do pinch them together, it will unlock it, and you could take the display out just like that. So it's a great theft deterrent and security feature, because without this, the bike can't power on, no one can ride it. So if you do want to park your bike and lock it up, you could take that with you and just pop it in your pocket or a little pouch, and you're good to go. And all you do is slide it right on, lock it into place, and you're ready to ride again. Coming around the front, I will say cable management is not the best. It's not terrible, but I have seen much cleaner cable management on bikes. So you probably could get some coverings or some Velcro or some sheathing, wrap it up, make it a little bit neater and cleaner. But that's just my opinion. It does have Tektro hydraulic disc brake system. Front fork suspension, which you can lock out or adjust the compression and rebound of it. A dual beam headlight, which shows fairly bright for how small it is. It is sufficiently bright for evening, nighttime riding. Of course, front plastic fender, 26 by 4 inch wide fat tires. Right here's your key slot. That's only used for unlocking, removing the battery. If you want to charge a battery while it's in the bike, your charging port is right there. But again, you can remove the battery and charge it away from the bike. Coming over to the seat, I will say the seat is really, really good. I give this a 4.5, maybe almost a 5 out of 5 rating. It is one of the better seats coming standard on a bike. Now, although this bike has no rear suspension, it does have coil suspension under the seat, which does help a little bit. So the seat though, like I said, it's wide, it's plush, it's comfortable. Solid 4.5 out of 5. I haven't ridden this long distance yet to give it a solid 5, but I would say it's close to being up there. Also worth mentioning too, the handlebar risers are adjustable, so you could raise it or lower it depending on your riding comfort and position. We do have a nice branded logo of Mokwheel here on the rear rack plate. So this is gonna be great, all ready to go to mount a storage tote, milk crate, saddlebags, whatever you want, but it does have a nice logo right there. As we come down, obviously looking, the whole bike is camo throughout, so it blends in really well with the typical environment like this. But then we come around to the back and we have a few more, I will say, positive things going for it. Right here, we not only have a tail light and brake light, but also has integrated turn signals right into this light housing. But the frame itself also has integrated turn signals and tail lights and brake lights. So when this is being activated for braking, for turning, whatever it is, you have confirmation not only right here on the upper rear rack light, but also the lower integrated light system. So you have a combination of more than one light working at once for braking, tail lights, and turn signals. So it's going to offer a lot of safety, visibility for those riding around you or behind you, especially at nighttime. And the insects are out today. We are definitely in the right environment for an adventure on a bike like this, Indiana Jones style. So we're going to hit some trails, do some exploring, see what this bike can do, find out what it can't do, and also see how that cadence/torque sensor actually operates. Let me get geared up and we'll start moving. We're gonna start off taking this access road a little bit deeper into the woods, take some additional trails. As far as riding position goes, I am upright, but I will say I'm not sitting perfectly upright. I am leaning forward slightly. Some of my weight is on my hands, on my palms, and I do have the handlebars as high as they could go. All right, we're getting into a little bit more rugged terrain here. Front fork suspension is doing its job. It's absorbing. And although there's no rear suspension, you know, I feel it, but it's not terrible. The seat definitely aids in helping absorb some of that. So I've ridden much worse, but it is just worth noting, you know, hardtail design with a coiled seat can only do so much. Brakes are working nice. Nice controlled descent here. And in case you come across some hikers, bikers, or even Bigfoot, you got your bell to alert them. So we do have a hill here. I'm gonna try pedaling. And we lost steam and momentum. Definitely needed more momentum for that. It is only a 750 watt motor that does peak at 1100. And I do notice the motor is not extremely torquey. So it is going to limit what it can do, where it can go. But for everyday normal riding, flat terrain, it's doing pretty good. We're actually coming to an area that I've been to, I think, 2 times before, but I haven't been here in several years, and we have a water hazard. Let's see if I can make it through. Oh, that is deep. That's deep. Okay, it made it though. That was deeper than I thought it was. The motor did not get submerged. We're okay. We're still moving, still got power. Right foot slightly wet, but that is what an adventure is all about. I just went through a really, really bad spider web. Got all over my face in the camera. Because no one's ridden through here in probably a few days at least. Hopefully it opens up, but a lot of water hazards here. Oh boy, this one looks pretty big. Okay, that is deep. Whew. That was deeper than the first one. Well, I know this is not a waterproof bike, but it proves it is water resistant. And here we are. We're at an abandoned, decommissioned reservoir. I've done a few videos here, I think 2 different times, where I've explored under the water with my camera, walked on top of the head wall spillway there, and it's nice to be back. This is a gorgeous area. And I might be back here in the future for another reason too, later this summer, so stay tuned for that if you want to see me come back here. If you haven't seen these videos, I will link them down below. Each time I come here though, I have walked here from a different starting point, but it's nice to be able to ride here. Man, it is getting warm out here, but we have a beautiful backdrop and location, and so far I'm having fun. But I figured we could stop for a moment and talk about some of the likes and dislikes I've come across on this bike, because there are things that stood out to me that I feel you should know about. As far as the dislikes go, there's only 2 of them really. Number 1 is the motor output. The motor output, 750 watts, is perfectly fine. It does the top speeds it's advertised to do, but the torque is not there. There's a really low startup and get going until you reach top speed. But beyond that, you saw firsthand, I did struggle climbing that hill that came upon us suddenly. And it wasn't even a real long hill. It was just short, steep, and rocky. And I didn't have enough momentum. It failed partway up. So having higher torque output, or at least a way to adjust it, which I haven't been able to find through the submenu, would be greatly welcome for this bike, because this bike is built for adventures. It's built for hunting, exploring, going through the woods, and you're not always going to have a smooth, flat trail. The other thing too, although it does have some great features, no USB port, so you cannot... What the heck was that? Oh, there's a big hawk or something flying over. I saw the shadow. Squirrel moment. It does not have a USB charging port, so if you do want to charge your phone while you're riding, you will need to provide your own power bank to do so. As far as the likes go, first off, I already said it, I do like having the thumb throttle. I'm not a fan of half or quarter twist throttles, so a thumb throttle is a good substitute for not having a full twist throttle. The other thing too is that it does have neat features. The removable display, great depth deterrent, and the built-in cadence/torque sensor makes this a kind of a universal bike where almost anyone and everyone can ride it, because you're getting the best of both worlds. We're going to learn more about that as we do ride it more, but so far it's been working pretty neat, pretty nicely. So with that being said, let's get back on the bike, do some more riding, and see what else it can or can't do. We're up here now at the top of the spillway. Marker plates right there. Going down here will take you at the bottom, but that's more for like a dual motor environment. Yeah, this is definitely better terrain here for this bike. And if there's any animals out here, you probably just see a person floating in midair. Since the bike is camouflaged, it blends right in with the environment. Joking, obviously, but it does blend in more than a bright, vibrant color. This is usually how I enter on foot, walking all this way. So we're gonna turn around, got a little bit of an uphill. And just to explain about the cadence torque sensor, because I've had bikes where you can change between each one. This one, you can't change it. It's set up automatically to do both at the same time. So what I've noticed is when you first start pedaling, you get a cadence feel where the motor starts giving you output, but it's not giving you all the output. It's giving you minimal, but more than a torque sensor would. But I'm in pedal assist 5 right now, and I'm only going 7 to 8 miles an hour. That's because the torque sensor is kicking in, where I'm not pedaling very hard, so it's not giving me an extreme amount of power. So once I get through here, we'll have a better terrain here to demonstrate that. So again, I'm in pedal assist 5. I'm pedaling. I got that initial boost of cadence. I'm only going 5-6 miles an hour right now, where if it was true cadence, I'd be going up to 28 potentially. But since it's also torque, well, if I pedal harder, there is our power. So it does indeed hold true. It is a combination of cadence and torque sensor. It's different feeling, but I will say overall, it feels more like 70-30 torque to cadence, which is a good combination, a good ratio. So those of you who do like cadence sensor bikes, this may not be for you. If you like torque, this is definitely more geared for you. And I think Indiana Jones himself would prefer a torque sensor bike. There's a lot more control, natural feeling, and you do get a better workout when riding. But this feels like basically right at home, this bike. The large tires allow me to go over anything. Brakes work phenomenally. They're quiet, they're powerful, and I'm not sure I'd take a whole lot of other bikes back here unless they were rated for this. So if you are a hunter, you could certainly carry your prize on the back. You got the weight capacity to do so. And if you want to put a crate on there, do some camping or remote adventures, you have that ability to do that as well. But despite the dislikes or the places where it can improve, overall, I mean, this is just what I would want for an adventure bike. They do offer a step over model. This is the step through, obviously. But regardless, if you don't like camo too, there's other color options available. Coming through. Oh man. I think we may have gone as far as we could go this direction. It looks like it's getting more closed in. And I really don't want to get scraped up and all ticks. So let's turn around, head back to where we started, and talk some final thoughts. Now, truth be told, I put this bike through more than it's intended for, more than what most people would ever do with this bike. But the fact that I was able to ride it back here and it's in one piece still operating, well, that says something. Build quality is there. I really tortured this bike, and it wasn't intentional, but I did want to see if it can survive a rugged environment. I had no intentions, though, of going through a puddle so deep that the motor was half submerged. That was not my plan. I planned on going through some puddles, but it got deeper than I expected. My right foot is wet. Motor got half to 3/4 submerged, but it didn't cut out power. It didn't short out. Everything's working as it's supposed to. We covered some really rocky, steep, tough terrain with roots and boulders and everything else. Nothing snapped, nothing broke. It's all in one piece. It's operating just as it was when I brought it here today. And that says something. It's a tough, rugged bike. The fact that it only weighs 80 pounds, but it's built so solid and tough, that says something. You know, this is a bike that could take a little bit of a beating. Although it's not intended for what I did today, if you ever had to do it, given the environment or circumstance, well, it's safe to say the bike most likely will be able to get you out of there in one piece. But I will say the cadence torque sensor worked flawlessly. I'm actually really surprised at that because there was no delay, no hesitation when you started pedaling to when you had power. It was almost instant. But then the torque sensor takes over and you have full control of the bike at all times as far as your speed while pedaling. And the fact that I could feather the throttle with the thumb throttle makes it even better. But just keep in mind, this is a class 2 bike. It's not going to be ultra powerful. It's not intended to be a hill climbing beast. It's intended to be an all-around adventure bike. Whether it's going to be someone who wants to remake this series and use an e-bike, all joking aside though, this is going to be great for someone who wants to get into the e-bike world and you live in a location where class 2 is permitted of under 100 pounds, 750 watt motor. There's nothing to unlock or change. It comes ready to go out of the box. So the fact that this is going to be acceptable in most locations is also a big plus. It has all the features you'd want and need. Great theft deterrent with the removable screen. You got the bell, you got lights integrated, tail light, payload capacity, hunting, exploring, adventuring, rail trail, city. Basically, it does almost all of it, and it does almost all of it really, really well. I am happy to say though, it did survive my torture testing. I give it 2 thumbs up. It exceeded my expectations. But if you do want more details and the latest pricing, check the link provided down below in the description. And also thanks to Mokwheel for reaching out to me and allowing me to share the Basalt ST with all of you. And hopefully you know by now if this bike is possibly the right one for you. Thanks for watching, safe riding, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.